everybody.
Hello.
My name is Val.
My name is Mandy.
And this is We're All Strangers podcast.
Navigating life together.
And today we're here with a very special guest. And
Hi, I'm Kat.
hello.
How are you guys?
Doing
Kat?
great.
Good.
So what are we navigating today?
Today, I think we should talk about money and finance. We should navigate that.
Yes,
navigating that
I
together.
love it. Okay, so Kat, could you give us a little bit rundown of yourself? Who are you? Who is Kat?
Who is Kat? Kat is 21 years old, and I've lived in Orlando by myself for about 4 years.
What's your major?
What's my major? Live entertainment management.
Oh.
I know.
Yes, when I did hear that about her the first time, I was like, wow, she's so
Yeah,
cool.
we'll see how it goes.
Yes,
It's definitely
Kat
scary.
and I had a film or entertainment class
Audio
together.
class together.
Oh, an audio class.
Yeah.
But we had something else together, I thought. Maybe just the audio.
Yeah. I was about to say.
We had some classes together last year, but kind of like the general ed ones. Because I'm in film, she's in entertainment. But somehow we had to take the same classes. And
It all
now
ties in together
all
somewhere.
ties in together, and now you're here on our podcast.
I know, how exciting.
Funny how
And
it
Mandy's
all
using her
starts out.
skills to navigate this mic system and everything.
Yeah.
And you're doing wonderfully.
Thank you.
Everything's
Absolutely
working out
so
great
much.
together.
So we like to kind of start us out with a little icebreaker for all of us, and you can kind of start us out, Kat. Is what's one small thing or practice that has improved your quality of life?
Learning to be grateful for the things I already have and not the things that I could be getting. It's something that I've kind of been focusing on recently. I actually watched a podcast from one of my favorite YouTubers recently where she was like, you're never going to be able to be happy in your life if you don't look around at the things you already have and consider how lucky you are to have those in the first place, whether it's a t-shirt or the home that you're in kind of thing. And truly, recently, I've been looking around at just like the simple, makeup bottles I've had for the last couple of months, and I've just been like, I'm glad that I was able to get that for myself when I did, and I'm still able to use it, and that I'm where I am in this world, and that I'm with the people that I'm with. It's definitely a interesting practice to go about, and it's kind of hard to go about it, especially in college when you're like working towards something bigger. You're always looking ahead. You need to kind of realize where you are at the moment. So that's something that I've been focusing on recently.
That was so like, ooh.
It's been a recent practice, which is why it's like sitting in the front of my head. But yeah, it's definitely been fun.
I think that's something that we all really need to like focus on, because there's a lot of things, like even right now, just like us renewing this apartment, we're like trying to think of like a better place, a cheaper place, a this place. But it's like, I already love this place. I already love what we've made out of it. And I've already loved the roommates we've had and the people I've met. And it's like, why are we still out there trying to find something better when we've already I already love this?
Yeah, I think it's important to realize, like, yes, we're still young. Yes, we're trying to figure out, money. We're trying to figure out everything. But what we have right now, we should be completely grateful for.
Exactly.
We do have a lot, more than a lot of other people out there have. So I think for myself, I need to remember, I don't always need this. I don't always need that. Like, I don't need anything. At the end of the day, like, I have enough to just get through life. So that's something to be more grateful for.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna now put that into my life. So
Yeah.
I like how you said that.
What about you though, Mandy?
I would say journaling, which I haven't done so much recently, but I know I used to do it, and that was such a good practice for me. Journaling literally was just a clarity to the mind. It was such a peace. It was a good coping mechanism, and also it felt like everything was kind of within my journal, so I felt like I could trust it,
Like your safe space.
It's my safe space, yeah. And so definitely inhabiting, like, waking up in the morning and journaling, and then going to, right before I go to bed, journaling. It's like, it's the perfect way to start and end my day, rather than trying to start it on social media or end it, because that's what I typically do. Nice. So I need to get back getting back into journaling. And yeah, so that has been a really good.
I feel like it's a way to like set intentions for the day for yourself. It is such an unbiased
and writing stuff. It's like a scientific thing. Writing stuff really does help the mind. So writing everything out, because I know some people journal on their computer or their notes app, like on their phone,
which is
fine.
Same,
like if I need to like let out a thought really quick, maybe I'll do it. But something about writing it in a paper book that I can just lock up to tie it and put it away. Something about that. I like the authenticity of it and kind of just the rawness, because when you write, you keep flowing.
Yeah, when I was in Spain studying abroad, like I was like I want to start like documenting my little experience, and I would go on the metro and I was like in my zone, headphones.
You were that girl.
I was that girl. I really try to paint that little moment. So it was like so nice.
Mysterious.
So mysterious. I haven't inhabited that. I haven't started journaling yet. Just because I don't know, it's just something that's really hard for me to like start doing, but I do think it's a really like amazing thing to start doing. I think for me, my thing is sleeping. I feel like starting to sleep earlier and sleeping 8 hours a day has really made my life so much better. I wake up so much happier. I wake up, I plop out of bed, and I'm ready to start my day.
It makes you more productive because your body is on its own time too. It's like, oh, we're alive, we're awake, we're ready to get the day rolling, and we are refreshed by the end of it. So
yes, and like I used to take naps. I would have to take naps every single day. Like it was like implemented in my schedule that I had to take naps, and whether that was a 17-minute nap or like an hour nap, like I needed it. But now I'm like, no, like I had a good enough hour of sleep. Like let me make the most out of my day, and then even my night care routine, my little like at the end of the night I take my shower, I do my hair, I do my things, and then like undoing my bed, and I'm just like snuzzled in. It's like the best part of my day. So that's me.
It gives you something to look forward to after a long day too, something consistent also, and for yourself.
Yes, I put on my silk pajamas. Love them.
She has her bonnet. She has She has her little night routine. I'm like, oh, it's like 8 p.m. I'm like, all right, good night. As I just like am starting my homework now. So.
Fair.
But yeah, works for everybody in their own way.
Okay, so now to get on to the aspect of money, I'm going to ask you one thing. So as college students right now, I think money is a thing that's starting to come about. Money is a worry that we're all starting to think about, whether that's our parents even helping us with money. Now we're the ones having to go to the grocery store and still look at that prices like, do I really need to buy the $12 loaf of bread, or can I just go off with the Publix brand or the Walmart brand and just do whatever? Like that's like a new thing. So you as a college student, and you know everyone has their own experiences, how often do you think about money?
Especially as a college student, I think about money every single waking day of my life at this point.
This is your Roman Empire.
It is my Roman Empire. Every single day I wake up and I'm like, let me think about it. But yeah, I mean, I think about it all the time, and it really is just because your parents tell you all the time it's expensive to live, it's expensive to do this. And as a kid, you're like, no, it's not. You know, you're someone who has endless amounts of money. You have a bank.
Money goes
the bank.
to
Yeah,
trees,
exactly.
yes.
And then you move to college, and truly, it's like, oh, here's something for $3.49 versus $3.79. You're saving 30 cents on it, but like
it matters.
30 cents. Yeah,
it matters.
I think about it a lot, and it really is just like money makes the world go round. And this is the time of our lives, especially as college students, where we need to kind of prepare for the future.
Yeah.
And you know, you can spend $40 right now out at a bar, but are you going to have that money when your textbooks come around, you know?
And even that, and even just like sometimes like I'm fortunate enough that I have a scholarship, but even then when I'm looking at it and I'm like $100 for this textbook, and I already bought the class. Like I'm already paying for all these things, and you're just having so many additional payments on additional payments. Even when we're paying rent, Mandy's like, I thought it was this fee. Like since when why are we paying $13 extra for renter's insurance?
And it is like, in a smaller scale, it's only a $13 charge,
but every month.
But now, now that like we're actually experiencing having to pay for things and money just like dropping so fast, those $13 really do accumulate and get in my head in the sense of like, how is it $13 or like more now for rent, and then now I gotta make up that $13 and like it's a small example, but it's true. Once you really start experiencing money, you'll pay attention to even the littlest jump, and it's a big thing.
I started putting things in the aspect of a Chipotle bowl. Chipotle bowls are like $10. I'm like, okay, like is this really worth a Chipotle bowl? Like is it really
Which
like that's my
sometimes
food.
it is worth a
Oh,
Chipotle
totally.
bowl.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is. But it's like that's what does it for me, because I think I started saving at a really young age, and that is just it helped me. Like I like to feel comforted in that sense, where it's like I don't have to like even though I have money in my savings account, I don't like to go into it. Like it really hurts my heart having to.
It's like a foundation, a backup plan for you. Yeah.
Do you guys think do you guys have the same mindset of cash is free?
Okay,
like,
are we talking about girl math right now? Because yes.
Literally girl math. But seriously, now that because I feel like more so now this year, I've been so on top of my like finance and things, because I have a scholarship, but then I had financial aid, not as big of an income, and just there was this family things going on, so I have to be more attentive with my money this year. And now I have a job, and now I have a savings account. So all this combined, I'm much more attentive. But now I use cash as like a big thing. Like now that I'm saving money, I use cash in the sense of like, okay, if I use my $20 bill to pay for this, nothing is dropping out of my bank account.
Exactly.
It's practically free.
Cash is not
Cash
real.
is not real.
So yes, so when I had my credit card and we would all go out to dinner together, and I just felt really bad when the server would have to like split all our bills because we came with like 10, 12 people. And so I'd be like, it's okay, I could put it on my credit card, everyone can Zelle me. But the problem with that was I wouldn't see the money go down in my credit card. I wouldn't see the money go down in my checking account, but I would see the Zelles come in. So my account went up, and I was like, oh, that's great. And then
You're like making money off of
Yeah,
it.
it feels like it. And instead it's literally just you not depositing.
oh
your
yeah,
cash.
and then when I have to
Exactly.
pay that credit card bill, I almost cried. And I
Oh,
was
yeah.
like, it just went down a little too much. And so it's just like, it really is bad, the girl math that we're doing. And
Yeah, that's just how girl math works.
Mhm.
But so I'm gonna ask you a next question.
Perfect.
What is your perception of money, and do you think that emotions are highly correlated to it?
So I think that, as I said before, I think money is truly one of those things that makes the world go round. You know, we hear that statement all the time where it's like, money won't make you happy, won't make you happy, but money makes you comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Money allows you extra room to be happy, and it gives you extra room to have opportunities or events or things going on in your life that you wouldn't necessarily be able to do if you didn't have that money.
I think if not having money brings on stress.
Exactly, and that's exactly the emotion
So-
I'd put on there. I think money is such a stressful topic for a lot of people, especially in this day and age, and not always is it stressful to think about money, but when it is such like an impending doom kind of feeling, because it's like, what happens if you don't have it?
What happens if I can't pay my
Exactly,
rent?
exactly. It's like, are they going to kick me out, or are they going to understand that something's going on? You know, and it kind of depends. I do think stress is very heavily correlated to money, but I think there's a lot of other emotions that can come from it. I think there's a lot of people on this planet that find genuine happiness in having money. And I'm like, I'm not that kind of person. I don't think that I need an excess of money in my account to be a happy person, but would I be able to travel the world if I did? Yeah.
It
would
could
that
add
make me
on
happy?
some happiness.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. But
I don't think it necessarily buys the happiness, but I definitely think it's a big contributor to it.
exactly.
Yeah, I've always been the type of person where it's like money can't buy like your full happiness and success. Like I think happiness and success is truly for what you
Make it out to be.
Yeah.
for what you will be like happy and valued in. Like for me, my passion, my career has always been like, if I'm just doing what I love to do, doesn't matter how much money I will make, I'll be happy doing it.
As long as you can feed yourself at the end of the day. and find a
Exactly.
place
Yeah.
to
If
cover your
I'm
head, yeah.
sustained and I'm still doing exactly what I want to do, then to me, I'm more successful than somebody who's,
Has all the luxury cars.
All the
But
luxury
goes home
money.
and they're lonely. Yeah.
Right. So, because that's the thing is, I think money can be such a big factor of loneliness.
Mhm.
You know, you could be the most loaded person ever, but feel so alone and feel like, yeah, I'm making all this money, but for what?
Exactly.
Because what, are you going to be traveling alone, or are you going to be doing this alone, And even if you have like a family and you're providing for all of them, I don't know, I think what you do with the money and how much, I don't know, they all play along. Like it really does correlate with your emotions. They kind of go hand in hand together.
I think I mean, it's a given statement. You come into this world with nothing. You are just a person who comes into this world, a body, and then when you leave this world, you could have millions in your bank account, and that means nothing.
Yeah.
You go, and if you don't have people to give that to, or connections, things that you have to remember yourself by outside of just physical value, it's
Because sometimes, even going back to what I was saying about having money in my savings account, although I do want to like keep having that money in the same account, I would like a rainy day fund. When I go out and I'm like, okay, like I can't be so stingy and be like, I still need to enjoy my life. I still need to go out and like have an experience. When I was studying abroad, like I was like, okay, I can drop the extra so amount of money and go to next place. I can like I'm also use that money to enjoy your life. Money will always come back to some extent. Like you can always work more, you can always do more, but I feel like you need to not be super stingy sometimes, because I think that I sometimes do that just because I'm a little nervous and I'm a little scared because I don't want to lose everything and everything. But I think there has to be a good balance.
That was so well said. Money will come back, because if you have a really good opportunity with friends, like a memorable moment, and it's going to be a little pricey, when will you do it again? You know, whereas
YOLO.
you can literally, I think sometimes with money you have to say YOLO, because you can make it up a week later. You know, you could work a double. You're gonna work extra hard, but whatever you're doing, it could be worth it.
Exactly.
To do that.
Exactly.
Always to an extent, of course, you know.
Always
Yeah, don't drop like $4,000 on an experience if you only have $5 in your pocket, you know.
Right.
But like,
Right. But you know, like the little things you could definitely. But so you were saying, or not you were saying, but I know you've mentioned to me personally, I don't know if Val too much knows this, but you've gotten a lump of money before, right? In your lifetime. So kind of tell us about that and how
That has affected you.
Almost being in a situation where, you know, because you said everybody starts from nothing. So you starting from nothing, and then all of a sudden, boom, getting this lump. Tell us kind of your journey through that and how, you know, what that was.
So this is going to be a little bit of a depressing note right off the bat, but
All right.
wouldn't mind chatting about it. So I was raised pretty normally. I was raised in a very like middle class, normal family. Moved to college, kind of had some help from my parents with that. I was super lucky my freshman year. And then after my freshman year, my dad passed away, which obviously in itself is devastating. It takes a toll on you, mentally, physically.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that. It takes a toll on you. But if there's anything, I guess you could put quotations around it, good that came out of it, is that my dad left money behind for my sister and I. Unfortunately for me, I am somebody who gets a lot of validation out of instant satisfaction. So while I'm coping with understanding how to go about this entire situation, I had a life insurance fund that had been deposited into my account, and in order to cope with it, I'd go out and I'd spend needless amounts of money on things that I shouldn't have bought. Temporary things, because I'd go home and I'd be like, oh, well, I have this new shirt that I can wear, and the next time I wear it, I'm going to be happy, and then that's it. So definitely took me a while to understand that was not the way that you go about that situation, and that it is a very temporary thing. You know, I would go out and I'd just like close my eyes at Target, for lack of better words, with a cart, and I'd just like grab whatever I see on the shelves, and I'd be like, well, I can decorate my apartment and it'll make me feel better when I'm at home. And then I'm like,
does it really make me feel better?
Yeah.
Did you start to use it almost as like a way to cope as
Yeah,
well? Sometimes
exactly.
people binge eat, kind of binge shopping.
That's exactly what I was doing. I mean, I had this recurring joke with my friend group where I always come home and I do hauls for my roommates, where I'm just like, this is what I got today.
I love a good haul.
I know, I love a good haul. And that's why I'm like, let me show you what I got. And one of my roommates, he'd be like, all right, excited to see what you have. You always come home with the most random stuff, and you always come home with something. If you go to the store, you're going to come back with something you don't need. And I'd come back and I'd be like, I got this like mani-pedi set that I'm going to add to my other 2 ones that I bought before this. And he's just like, okay.
So what took it for it to like, what made that shift? Like, how long did that take? And like, did your friends, when you were giving them hauls, did they start picking up on these habits? Did they start noticing?
Yeah, they were definitely aware that that was the way that I was coping. And they, as great friends do, didn't say really anything about it, because they were like, I mean, we're just glad that you have your head on your shoulders, you know?
Yeah.
But once I got back into school, about a year after the entire situation happened. Once I was back into school and I saw how much tuition costs, plus how much rent costs, plus how much textbooks and food and how much like stuff for my cat costs, things like that. It kind of took me out of it as like, I can't just go out and spend a bunch of money, because I need to actually start working towards what I have to do with my life in the future. You know, I need to understand that, I still have 3 semesters left, and the excess of money I decided I wanted to put into Target the last couple of months I could have kept in my pocket and put towards my tuition. I wouldn't have had to worry about filing for loans or scholarships or things like that I'm like hoping I get, kind of thing.
Yes.
You know.
Okay.
Did you end up taking loans for school?
That I did.
Really?
Which is not exciting. But again, it's, you know.
How does that work? Because I actually don't know like how like the whole like getting loans.
So that's a great question.
That was actually a number one rule in my family when entering school is no matter what financial situation you're in, do not get a loan. Because my dad still to this day is trying to finish off his loans. So he's always taught me. So to me, that's like a big no-no word.
Oh, yeah.
Like loans, don't touch. It's like a hot stove. Don't touch.
And I still feel that way as somebody who has loans. My freshman year, I was an out-of-state student here in Florida. So I was paying the out-of-state tuition prices for
that's crazy.
UCF, state school. So I got lucky that my mom pulled a loan underneath her name. So that loan doesn't fall under my name, but that's like almost 30 grand worth of loans that she pulled out. So we're still paying that off. And I didn't finish my freshman year. So that to me is such a like stab in the heart kind of thing, because I'm just like, that's a lot of money. But loan-wise, I mean, you just go through the federal government, and you're just like, please, can I have some of this so I can do that?
And they're like,
yep,
here you go.
Yep. And they give you a limit as to how much you can pull out, and it's kind of depending on how much you make, how much your family makes, and things like that. And there's a lot of stipulations behind it. But loans themselves, I definitely don't recommend anybody do loans if they have any other ability to pay out of pocket or get scholarships or get grants, anything like that.
But in some cases, that's just something that you have to do because obviously education's important.
Exactly.
It's something that, you know, you're not going to put past because of it. Like, although it's not the best thing to do, I guess the only way to look at it now is now eventually you got to make enough money that you can be able
to. And I think, like, being aware of it in your 20s when you're still, because you don't have to pay back loans until you're out of school, which is a really nice thing. It kind of gives you a couple of years to sit back and be like, all right, so let me create a quasi-plan in my head.
That's scary too, though, is because you don't have to do it till after. It could be a big, oh, I'll get to it. I'll get to it. And it becomes a procrastinated project.
Yeah. When you look at your FAFSA account, it gives you the number of how much you owe versus how much you can still get. And it is always usually a pretty big number, but I have definitely kind of gotten in my head about it before. But, I mean, if you just Google it and see how many people are in debt for school, it's like...
It's a common thing.
It's like half of Americans are thousands of dollars in debt, if not more.
I didn't even recognize it until I was helping my cousin because he's coming from another country, and so I'm trying to help sign him up for everything. He's lucky that he's still a citizen in the United States because I can only imagine even the bigger like difficulty to try to get into schools and try to do that whole process when you're not even a citizen here. But he has to pay the out-of-state tuitions, and I'm just like, that's an absurd amount of money, and he's going to community college, and the out-of-state for that is just I was just like, how do you expect us to do that?
Well, and I mean, if you look at it, not to go into like this little path, but if you look at like prices for college level education back in like the 80s, it is drastically different than what it is now. And we're not making any more now than people were making then. There's like realistically no way for people nowadays to afford to go to school.
And now talk about the housing market too.
Oh my gosh,
housing market. How do people supposed to like? We're supposed to be buying our own homes when we're like in our mid 20s, late 20s,
and it's like I can't afford a mortgage.
I'm already in debt with school.
Exactly.
How am I supposed to be going into buying these houses that are
and same thing with like even continuing school. Most of us, you know, are going to be in school for at least 4 years. It's already our second year, and prices have exceedingly increased like crazy. So it's like, you know, we have to finish school, but you guys are making it hard to live here. So it's such a crazy jump financially with everything, even with school and with books and with living. Like everything is just so gas too, you know. Everything is just it's annoying and it's frustrating,
and
but
it's
we have to get through it. It is scary to think about our kids, you know, think about how in the future how much things are going to raise by then. Like it's insane. And it makes us feel, you know, for those that want to start a family, it's like, I got to start saving now for my kids, which is like, I don't know if I want to.
And that pushes everything back because that's when people start having kids at a much later time because now we're starting to have to like do our careers, like we start our careers, make money in our careers.
Pay back that debt you already have only to gather more for the 2-3 kids you bring onto this planet. Yeah, it's scary. It definitely is.
And we have to start thinking about this at such a young age already. And it's like on top of the things, on top of the careers that we want to build, we have to be worrying about all this financial stuff and everything.
And we are lucky that we have multiple abilities to pay for things. We are lucky that loans are something that we're able to do through the government and that scholarships are offered and that grants are offered and things like that. But it definitely, I don't want to say takes advantage of the situation, but it's like, oh, you don't have the funds to do that. That's fine. We'll give it to you, but we're going to charge you more than you took from us because we're doing you a favor.
It's almost like a psychological thing.
It's
like, wait, you're going to give me money so I can continue school?
And here's a contract you need to sign of like 40 pages worth of things you need to do.
But then it's like, wait, this is going to bite me back later in the butt, like a few years down the road. So it's a
impending doom, exactly like I said before. Impending doom. It just sits right here, and you're just like, oh, I gotta be aware of that at all points until it's gone. You know?
Yeah.
So now I'm on to question number 3, and I think, well, we didn't really touch on it. It says, what lessons/habits has your family passed down to you about money?
So like I said, I kind of grew up in like a middle class family, and I grew up in the South, which I don't know if you guys know this or not, but in the South, it's a fashion show every day. There are girls, especially during like the 2014 era, girls showing up in like brand new Sperry's and their nice Carhartt jeans and their Simply Southern t-shirts and these things that.
When was this around? When you were how old?
I was probably like 14, 15 or so about this time. Not 2014, but in general about this time.
You were 14 years old.
Yeah, but
which is like the peak of where you're trying to figure out yourself,
exactly,
your style, and all that.
And
so that was probably
you
a
see
big
all these girls coming in who are deemed as popular and pretty and all these other things, and they're all wearing the exact same moderately expensive clothes, and as any girl would, it's like, oh, I want to be like
I want to fit in.
I want to fit in, exactly.
I want those superstar Adidas shoes.
Oh, exactly. I want those knee-high boots. You guys ever have those, the knee-high Converse?
I did see those, yes.
Oh my gosh.
Did you guys miss that era?
The crazy shoelaces. Personally, I was never a big high-top girl. I actually hated those, but I am guilty of the Adidas Superstar white with the black striped shoes that freaking everybody had in 7th grade around.
I had the Adidas sweatpants, and everyone at school.
Oh my gosh, the black with the white stripes.
Everyone at school was like, oh, let's all match, wear white shirts and Adidas sweatpants. I didn't have any, but I couldn't let anybody know this. So I go to Adidas. I'm like, Mom, we need to go. It's at 8 o'clock at night. We go to the mall, and I need to buy one.
Yeah.
And they only had a size large, and I was like, I don't care. I need to fit in. So I bought these $50 or $40 whatever pants to fit in that didn't even fit me, and I just told everyone they were my cousins because I just
borrowed them. Yeah.
So everybody now they know.
And if anything, that's like such a big sign in regards to like you just want to fit in, that you're gonna go to such an extreme where it's I'm gonna pay so much money for something that I'm gonna wear once, twice, and then never be able to wear again.
It's insane how our brains work like that.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah. But in regards to like my family and all of that, like growing up in that family, my mom was the kind of person that's like, you have nice, normal clothes. You do not need to go and spend $50 on this new t-shirt that you saw a girl walking in the hallway wearing once. And as a kid, you're like, why are you stopping me from getting things I want? Money grows on trees, that whole thing. And it's like, no, that's not it. Yeah. I think my family really just kind of put value in, back to what I said at the beginning of this podcast, being grateful for the things you already have and the things you could be getting instead. I think that I have a lot of friends who have been handed things throughout their lives, and it's like, I'm glad you get that, and I'm grateful that you have that life, but there are some of us who don't have that. And if anything, that allows me to go to Goodwill and get a $2 shirt that I love and I wear all the time.
And now you have a story to it.
Exactly.
I'm a lot of the time.
I always say it's giving clothes and other things a second life. You don't know what they've traveled through and been through before that point.
Oh, I love that.
But you get to wear it again. It's like, well, now you're in my apartment, and we get to go to Busch Gardens. We get to go to Universal and hang out with my boyfriend and do all this stuff. And it's like,
Val has that actually.
I have a yellow sweatshirt that's actually gonna be, gonna be the intro clip. Hopefully, it's on this video.
If not, we have an intro coming in soon.
But
we're having a little animation intro.
I have this yellow sweatshirt, and when I asked my boyfriend, I was like, how do you visualize me? What outfit do you envision when you think of me? And he's like, I envision you wearing this yellow sweatshirt.
What a great question to ask. Wow, I'm putting that in my pocket for later.
For your boyfriend.
Yeah. He's in yellow sweatshirt and white shorts, and so that's why I chose it as the outfit. But the thing is, he's not the only one that's ever told me that. And it's funny because I've worn that yellow sweatshirt in so many big life events of mine, and I've cried in it, I've been happy in it, I've done so much in it, and I love that sweatshirt, but it's so funny because I thrifted it, and I got it for like $5.
Which you have no idea, now we're putting in this perspective, where that sweater has gone through beforehand. It literally has a life.
Well, I mean, the shirt I'm wearing right now, I got from Goodwill recently. I know, very Bella Swan 2008 type beat. But I'm like, also, you can't buy shirts of this what's the word? I was about to say caliber. That's an interesting word to go about there. But you can't like buy shirts of this style in stores normally anymore. And I'm just like, this is an early 2000 shirt. Gives you a different look in comparison to everybody else.
Time frame.
Like, the same goes with like going with my mom's, like when I wear my mom's clothes. Like, she has a whole story behind it, and I can only imagine how she views when I'm like putting on her clothes, and she's like, oh, like I used to wear that one whenever, whatever.
Yeah.
My mom, I told my mom, I was like, because my mom was a big 2000s girl. Like, she definitely wore all the like the BB shirts.
Can I like raid your mom's closet?
And that's the thing. I was like, as soon as like the 2000 style became a big thing, and I was getting into it, I was like, Mom, where's your clothes? And she got rid of it all because my mom was like she was on the thinner side. She used to do modeling, and so when she had kids, she gained that baby weight, so she kind of just like threw out all the clothes. And I was like, Mom, you have a daughter who's going to be old enough to reuse.
The styles always come back.
Yeah, because she's like, you're not going to want to wear those like sparkly shirts. I was like, who said I wasn't? So she got rid of all her like really good 2000s clothes. I mean, I've always grown up kind of passed down with my mom's clothes, but all the good stuff she never had. So it was so upsetting. I really wanted to go through the stuff, but I think it's so much fun, like going back into kind of what the era was back then. Like, think about, to go back into like our future kids, what they're gonna wear of ours. Like, I want to pass down. I mean, my siblings too, I think, are gonna get passed down from my stuff. So, and who knows what the style would be? Do you ever think about that?
Well,
what the style would be in like?
Have
20
you been
years?
in Target recently? They have like late
Sometimes
90s,
Target
early 2000s clothes right now.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Which is great.
We're gonna have to-
Now we save money that way. Well, not in the Target aspect of it, but I'm saving money in the aspect that we're bringing
Target,
back.
going back to money and finances, right? What we've been talking about. Target is like the enemy when it comes to saving money. You cannot go to Target wanting one thing, and never. You go there and it's like, oh, but this is so cute and it's a good deal. Oh, but the five and below section. Come
the
on,
dollar
I
section.
know,
Yeah.
like.
Well,
It's
see,
so
I always say I need horse blinders when I go into Target so that I can just like cover my eyes, so I just
Just
like
go
beeline to where I need to go.
No, but back to family and to Target. When my mom is a single mom growing up, and so she was very big on the money aspect and being like, obviously, like when we went out shopping, as a little kid does, they want everything. And my mom was like, okay, like you get one thing, $9.99, like that is it, like you choose it. And because I just grew up with that, there was nothing wrong with that, and there's still nothing wrong with that. But my mindset was always, okay, $9.99, and I got my $9.99 item, and I was as happy as can be. And it was funny because my aunt came and she was like, oh, I'm taking you to Target, and she's like, buy whatever you want. And I just gravitated towards the $9.99 item because it was good. Like, I wanted a book or something. And she was like, why? Like, you can get this, you can get this. I'm like, I don't need it. And she, like, yelled at my mom kind of and was like, why does she feel like she can't get anything? Like, where she's like, we're not, like, broke. Like, we can, like, get something. She's like, well, that's how I want her to be, because when I was struggling at the time, like, that's all I could afford to get her. And so I'm glad that she doesn't need anything more, and I didn't. And so for me, even now, I have the same principle with the $10 Chipotle. Like, it's just, like, it just makes me reason a little bit different, like view it a little bit different.
Yeah, same thing with me. My dad was recently just in town, and like he wanted to go to Publix and fill up our groceries, fill up my gas. But because we're college kids, we're so big on budgeting, especially for groceries. When Val and I go grocery shopping, we split everything in half, and we get only what we're going to be using for like a week or two, and don't waste anything. And if we do waste it, we will never buy that ingredient again.
Word.
So when my dad was in town, he was like, get whatever you want. And I started getting like just our things that we usually get, and then that was it. The cart was kind of low, and he was like, why is this it? Why aren't
I'm
you
trying to treat
and,
you. Yeah.
And I was like, it's just so ingrained now to budget, to save money, which is good. It's not a bad thing. But when we get something else, it's kind of like, wait, really? And then I almost feel like I'm being spoiled. But in reality, and I don't want to come off spoiled. I'm doing good. I earn my own money. I can get my own groceries. But it's just like the parents and the family being like, no, come on. Like I'm making money, so let me treat you, which I think is so sweet, so beautiful, you know. But it is ingrained, which is good. It does become an ingrained, almost muscle memory thing with saving money.
Yeah, even my dad came, because my dad recently just came back into my life, and he did the same thing. We were rekindling. He took me out. He came down to visit me, and he was like, let's go shopping. Like, you can come and get whatever you want. And we entered like 4 different stores. He was buying items, like he was getting stuff, and he was like, why haven't you got anything? I'm like, I just can't buy a $50 t-shirt. Like, it just, in my mind, I just don't think it's worth it. Like, it just doesn't work for me. He's like, just get it. Like, it's okay. And like, it took a long, I think we were there for maybe another 2 hours. And then I finally was like, okay, like, I'll get some shorts, let me get some shorts. Like, those are pretty expensive. Like, pants for some reason are always so expensive.
And I think, like, back to the concept of, like, I wouldn't even say fitting in or, like, being grateful for the things that you already have, but, like, combining that all into that, it really is like, no, I don't need that $50 t-shirt. I would love to have it, but do I need it? No, I have other ones back home.
Yeah.
I don't need to spend an excess of money when I'm out with my parents and they're deciding to treat me something, because it's like, do I need that? I've been fine without it beforehand. And I heard this statement a while ago, and it was like such an interesting perspective, which was there's 2 ways to live. You can either take a step back and live frugally, basically, for a little bit, and then be prosperous by the end of it because you're not like trying to overcompensate for what you don't have. Or you can overcompensate and then one day realize you have all of these material things and then not be grateful for it because you still don't have the thought process of saving up for those things. It's that gratification. It's if you can always just go out and buy what you want and get it that day.
Amazon.
Amazon is such a killer of that. It's like, oh, I just want this thing. I'm just going to buy it and it's going to be fine. But it really just puts it in perspective of how lucky we are to have things.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, if you were to go on Amazon, for me, Amazon is like a treat. Like when I get an Amazon package, it's like opening a gift.
I ordered like a calculator charger, and I went to my mailbox and I grabbed it, and I was like, oh my God, who sent this to me?
Yeah, but my parents, who are financially, I think right now in their life, successful, doing very, very good. They live in North Carolina in a house. They have my 3 younger siblings who, like, they're living a very different financial growth than I did because my parents had me at a young age. But when I go and visit my family, there is not to just
do it.
Not to diss my parents or anything, but there is Amazon packages in our front door almost every single day. And
what a dream.
And my mom is like, sorry, those are mine. Like, it all says my mom's name too. And I was like, girl, what are you getting? But and I'm so happy for them that they financially are just so successful that they could do that. But with me, right now in my living situation, I get an Amazon package and I'm like, I just got a gift. Like, that's so nice. But I like it because it really does make you more grateful. Not saying that my parents aren't grateful. I know they are, but we're just living 2 different lives. They're adults. They're doing their own thing.
And they've created that success for themselves, and now it's your time to do that for you.
Exactly. Yeah. So who knows? When I get older, I'll be getting those packages all the time, and it'll be a little different. But yeah.
Well, I not to talk about like just getting things like right off the bat, but I have a friend who their family, I wouldn't say is very well off, but like they care for their kids, and their kids are their priority, and they're the kind of person that they said to me, direct quote, if I ever tell my mom that I want something, like a pair of Lululemon pants, my mom will get me that pair in every color available. Because she just wants me to dress well. And I'm like, I would love to be that parent for my kid. I would love to be able to work up to that point where my kid's like, hey, I really want a pair of headphones. And I'm like, what color, what size, what year, all this other stuff. Yeah. And be able to just hand it to them. But I think that friend really does have a hard time understanding that it's not always going to be like that, that in their mid-20s, their parents aren't just going to hand them things because they want it. They're going to be like, you need a job, you need to work for it.
Yeah, it's a balance. As much as of how much I would want to
like
be
that ritual.
I would want to be that parent too for my kids, but at the same time, I kind of want my kids to learn how are you going to financially like sustain yourself. It's a growing thing. I can't think of the word. It's a growing factor.
I think my mom did a really good job with that because, like, I told you the story about the $9.99. But then now, when I've gone off to college and everything, and I didn't want to work, my mom said she didn't want me to work the first semester because she wanted me to like really do my studies and everything. And so it was really weird since I started working at 14 to stop. And then she started sending me money instead of me getting a paycheck. It was really weird. But she was like, "You've worked hard. You've proven to me you're not a spoiled balance that you've proven to me you're not a spoiled child. You're not somebody who just like takes this money as whatever.
Expects things. That's the big
I don't
point.
expect it. And so she's like, here, take it, and please don't say no. Like, there'll be times I would call her, I'm like, please stop sending me money. Like, I feel bad. Or like sometimes I'd want to rant and be like, I'm like, ugh, like I did not buy a Chipotle bowl today. It was too expensive, whatever. And then she'd send me money. I'm like, that wasn't me asking for money. That was just me saying I didn't budget correctly this week, and
But I think that's so good that she gave you that money, because you were like, oh. You know, like
it was definitely. I was definitely like, oh, that's amazing.
It definitely like throws a pillow behind you, so you know if you fall back, it's like, oh, she'll be there to help.
Yeah. Instead of being someone like, Mom, I need a Chipotle bowl, and then, you know, a mom giving the money. I think, it's all about the balance of, okay, my kid is working hard. Let me help them out too. It's not being rude or disciplining. It's all the balance of everything. It's not,
you know, oh, I have money, I'm an adult, I can do whatever I want with it, and you don't benefit off of it. Right. It's I'm teaching you right now, especially when you're younger, that again, it's not something you should expect from people. People aren't always just going to hand you things, and you are going to be in some tough points of your life, and it's up to you to figure out how to get out of that and how to budget and how to be prepared is a big point.
Yeah. Cam, I'm going to get into our fourth question of our podcast. So how has money affected maybe any current relationships of yours or past? And it doesn't mean just romantic relationship, but also family, that family relationship, maybe friends, any type of relationship, really.
See, I've had both really, really great experiences with it and really, really bad experiences. I've definitely had like a divide come up in my family because of finances, which I feel like isn't uncommon for certain people. You know, it's not something I would ever like wish upon anybody, but when money comes in, like I said, money makes the world go round, and there are people that are money hungry. And unfortunately for me, there are some people in my family that are money hungry. And when I did get that lump sum that I got from my dad, it definitely caused a bit of a divide between me and some people. And it kind of allowed me to take myself out of my own shoes and be like, all right, these people are focused on something that isn't just like the love for their family. It's not like, oh, we're here for you. It's like, we're here for something you have. So that definitely sucks, but in other news, like with my friends, it gives me an opportunity to hang out with them, gives me a little bit of like some backup room to buy a Universal ticket and be able to go to Universal with my friends on the weekend and have these experiences that I'm lucky enough to have living where I am with the people that I have in my life. And that's a really great thing, being able to have all this other stuff. But especially now as a college student, especially in my like romantic relationship, considering my boyfriend is like the person who kind of knows me best right now, he has seen me have like full blown anxiety attacks over money before. I called like the VA about something, and I was like, hey, I was wondering if I could use this thing, and they were like, nah, you don't. And I was like really relying on this thing at one point, and they basically were just like, we can't really give this to you because of this. And I was so heartbroken over it that he just had to sit there and be like, it's okay, there are loans, there's all these other things going on. I'm like, but it doesn't make sense. Like, I was really relying. He's like, dude, it's okay, you're fine. And it definitely causes stress, but it also gives me the ability to enjoy myself depending on the circumstance. Like, oh, let me go out to lunch, let me do this thing. But more specifically, like my romantic relationship, as he is the person I spend 98% of my time with mostly, we both are not working. So we are both. Oh. Yeah. So we're both like so hyper aware.
And you guys just went on a trip to Europe.
Italy. That we did. Yeah. So that's been it's been interesting.
That was probably an amazing experience.
Oh, it was incredible. And that's another one of those things of like, I was lucky enough, we both were lucky enough that we had the money and the funds to be able to go and experience the world like that. But now we come back and we're like, we can't even go on a date right now because it's like I can't go.
You guys have how long were you there for? 2 weeks, a week?
We were there for like a month.
Yeah, you have a month-long dream vacation. Yeah. Come back. You don't get to go on dates.
That was me. I went to Europe for a month, and I thought I was going to have a job on standby.
Oh, me too.
And it wasn't there anymore.
Exactly.
And so I was like, wow, what am I going to do?
Yeah. And I mean, I've spent like most of my time recently, especially after coming back from this trip, like checking out what movies Netflix has to offer, you know?
More stay-at-home dates.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's the thing. Fun. It's like, we're still lucky enough that we've been able to stick with each other even without having the commodities that having a little bit higher of a financial position would be. Like, I would love to go on a nice date with him and buy a bottle of wine and get all dressed up and this and that. But I'm like, we can buy a 6-pack at 7-Eleven and put on the TV show we've been watching for the last 3 months, and that is still
and
fun.
eventually one day it will happen, because I think that's the same with me and my boyfriend. Like, when we do go out, it's a lot of splitting. It's a lot of maybe one time I'll take breakfast, he'll take lunch. It'll be a lot of that, because right now it's just we're both not at the point where I can just
treat you.
And it's fine. And I think I recognize that too, and I think that's all you have to do is just be understanding of it and be willing to compromise and be willing to find other things.
Because it's a temporary thing. It doesn't mean that in 5 years, when he's in a career and so am I, that I'm not going to be able to take a boo basket for God's sake. It's I didn't get one of those this year, and it's just because we just came back from Europe. I'm not expecting him to spend $150 on this nice little gift because he can. But that doesn't mean in 10 years I'm not going to be able to do that for him, and it be something he actually needs / has wanted for a while. And it really is just compromising, and there's nothing wrong with it.
I mean, yes. I mean, being someone who's not in a relationship, I'm obviously able to save a lot more money.
Yeah.
Your relationships not are expensive, but you do
spend money.
And when I was in sorry to cut you off, but when I was in my relationships, I'm a big I want to treat them, here's this or that. So I'll be in the store and I'll just want to get a basket or a gift. So for me, when I'm in a relationship, I know my money drops, which I'm kind of happy that I haven't. I've been saving a lot more money now, but I know when I do get into that, it kind of just drops. But I think because I've been really working on saving, hopefully when I do get into a relationship, obviously I'm still going to treat that person, as good as I can, but
you're aware.
I'm aware of it now. Yes.
Well, early in my relationship, I really was the kind of person that was I love you and I want to show you how much I love you. He mentioned my boyfriend's a gamer, which is totally cool. But early in our relationship, he was like, there's this new FIFA game coming out and I really want to get it, but it's $120, so I'm not going to do that. And I was like, oh, that's so sad. I have to go to Target. And I came back, and I literally came back with a basket for him full of all these goodies and gift cards. And he was like, why did you do that? And I was like, because I just wanted to give you something nice.
That's how I feel how my brain, if I really love you,
I was like, I'll give you the shirt.
Say no more.
Back.
I will go get it. Yes.
For my boyfriend's for his birthday, I think, or Christmas, because his birthday's in December, which is not.
Oh my God, when?
It's December 1st.
Oh my God, Max's is December 18th.
Oh, you're even struggling.
Oh my God, it's a week before Christmas.
Well,
I'm like,
at least
what?
In the beginning.
Yeah,
December,
I'm going crazy.
Birthdays are rough.
It's a little stressful, but anyways, he goes to the gym, and so I'm like, I'm gonna buy Gymshark everything. I was like, but let me pro tip everybody: buy during Black Friday and Cyber Monday. All my birthday gifts, all my Christmas gifts, all my everything that weekend is all
deals.
It's all there. But it's just you want to buy them, you want to spoil it. It's just I can't even stop myself. The price doesn't even matter when I'm buying someone else something.
Yeah, it's because I love it. It's coming from such a good place.
Blinds. You go, especially with Christmas and birthday, all the holidays, or even anniversaries. When I was in relationships, I would do the whole 1 month anniversary, 2 months
anniversary.
Every month. And you know how much money that is? That's so silly. So, but it's just, you do it out of because you care and you love them. So it's exciting too. It's they're going to like this so much. Is that.
But then it goes right back to the materialistic things. I was like, let me just get him this because he wants it, and this because I think it'd be nice. And then he's like, I love you. You got me this shirt a year ago.
I still haven't worn it.
I haven't worn it. What do I do with it? And I'm like, I just got it because I wanted to share,
That's what I think it's I think especially with guys, I think when I've started to pick up on buying them stuff, it's let me get them stuff that they're probably actually going to use because they don't buy it for themselves.
Exactly.
When you're buying for your boyfriend, it's like you're a mom. You're kind of
like their mom. Socks.
Oh my God, I was literally about to say the next thing I'm going to buy him is a new pack of socks because I'm just why haven't you bought a new pack for yourself in years?
I remember with my ex-boyfriend, when we were dating at the time, I used to buy him face wash and cologne and
really
all the
hair
all
stuff.
All the products, just because it's the mom in us.
I had to teach Max to not use 3-in-1 when I first started.
Oh
He was
my
like, you
gosh.
can just shower in my shower, and I was like, great. And I was like, oh,
That's
Oh,
literally
no.
my dad. The head and shoulders,
Oh,
3
of
in one
course.
big bulk.
yep.
Uh,
And I'm like, how do you
One that
live
you
like
push,
this?
yeah.
This is insane. Anyways, yeah.
That's so funny. Okay, so I think to finish it off, I think
Wrap
we
this
should
up.
ask, money, we buy a lot of things, but of all the things you've bought in your life, which do you remember the most happily?
So, I think things that have connections to experiences are ones that I find to be the most fulfilling to me. I'm a really big concert girly, like a really big concert girly. I've been to way more than I can count. And I always make it a point as a treat to myself. I know concert tickets are quite expensive in the first place, and then traveling to those places are also quite expensive. But I always treat myself to a poster or a t-shirt or a sweatshirt or something at every show I go to. And I realized recently when I was going through my closet that I have like way too many, but I can't get rid of any of them because I'm like, oh my,
Momentum.
yeah, exactly. I'm like my 14-year-old self who went to this like YouTuber convention and bought this sweatshirt from it. I'm like, I used to wear this all the time in high school.
is it Dan and Phil? Is it the Dan?
You
and
did
Phil?
not need to call me out like that.
Is it the Dan,
It is
the
Dan
Dan
and
and Phil sweatshirt that I've seen her wear at school.
Okay, just once. But yeah, like
Yeah, good
things like
memories.
that. And I have like so many posters that I have, and it's like more so from shows, and it's also it like ties into my career also, so that's probably why I'm a little bit more partial to it.
Makes sense, yeah.
But like I went to Conan Gray's second tour ever. There was maybe like 200 people.
How
in
was
this
that
venue.
concert?
It was very nice. He yelled at me.
Oh.
Yeah, I have a video of me being like, "Can you share this thing?" And he was like, "No, I'm not doing that. What are you?" And I was like, "Oh my god," I'm like, "This
yelled
Conan
at
Gray." Yeah. But like, I went when there was like 200 people who were in this venue, and then 2 years later, he plays at like the Met Gala. And I'm just like, or not plays in the Met Gala, but like is at the Met Gala and is playing these like couple thousand capacity venues. And I'm just like, it reminds me of like the experiences of the shows that I've been to and the places I was at that point. Like I'm so lucky to say I've seen Harry Styles 3 times.
Oh, wow.
So lucky to say
I'm actually
That
really mad I
is-
didn't watch him in London. Everyone went. That was
Oh
in
my
my
God.
club group, and I was like, why didn't I do that?
I was there.
Were you
I was
actually
there.
in London?
I was in London.
That's so cool
Yeah.
to be able to say you watched hairstyles in
London.
I saw him at Madison Square Garden in September, and then I watched him at Wembley Stadium in June. Yeah, which to me, I'm like, how did I manage that? I can't.
Yeah.
I'm like out of body experience.
Pat yourself on the back.
I
for
know,
that
right?
one.
But then I like looked back at the posters I had, and I didn't even realize it. I was like putting up posters in my apartment, and my roommate was like, "Hey, Kat, it's really funny. You actually have posters from the last 3 years you went to these shows." And I was like, "Do I?" And I put them all next to each other, and I was like, "That's crazy that
Oh,
I
I
did that."
love
And I'm also
that.
just like, how lucky am I to have something to commemorate this moment and the things that I am so focused on right now that bring me joy and bring me happiness and these experiences. Like the fact I went to New York City. That was my first time ever going to New York City. And I'm like, now I have a t-shirt I can wear.
Oh
It's
my
like,
gosh,
oh yeah, I
the
went
first
here.
time I ever went to New York, I went and saw a Broadway show that this was during COVID, but my theater class, we were supposed to do the musical Chicago, and we didn't do it, so we did it all online, and I used to choreograph the dances for that show. So we did it all virtual, and like I did a whole virtual showcase. But my first time ever I went to New York, I saw Chicago on Broadway, and it was, first of all, brought nostalgia from back to COVID times when I was doing that over the phone, over the computers, teaching choreography, but also just like the fact that I was in New York watching a Broadway show was like such a
It's an
surreal
experience,
Yeah,
yeah.
a big thing of mine is in the future, my bucket list is to go to Brazil, because that's where my mom is from, is go to Brazil in a hammock and eat a mango.
Oh.
That is like a specific thing.
How
But
beautiful.
but think about
Wait, I
just like
love
how
that.
memorable that is. There's just
Yeah.
certain things that I have to do in certain places.
Mm-hmm.
So like New York, Broadway show, check. Brazil, and I also, this is super cliche, but I want to have pasta in Italy. Like it's just
Totally worth it.
totally worth
Yes.
it.
Totally worth
what I
it.
heard.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and even like back to materialistic things that bring me happiness, I do feel like a majority of the things that I own that have made me really happy, the more I look at them, are things that are more so like gifts, if that makes sense.
Yeah, from other people.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm kind of struggling. Like, as I'm asking this question and as I'm hearing you guys talk, like, I'm kind of struggling because there's no materialistic thing that's really like when I'm thinking about things that I've used, I'm like my car, I appreciate that more than anything, but my stepdad and my mom both
both helped in on that. And like, I'm super grateful for them, but like, I don't know if I put money into anything like that that's materialistic. Whereas now when you're talking about experiences and connecting, I'm like, I do love that. And I've brought it up already like 5 times on this podcast, but studying abroad thing that I put in my own money to buy that and all the experiences I created out of that, I think that's something that was just surreal. And it
brings you right back to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was like money that I didn't even like. That was
Maybe the best thing that you bought was your trip to
Spain.
To Spain.
That was a very expensive flight, let me tell you.
Expensive flight, but you talk about all the time, it was worth it.
Yeah.
So I think mine would just, it'd be my camera. I literally what's getting us through this, but, she's dying, but love you, camera. Anyways, I was in 7th grade and I was just so into film. I was just so into creating videos. And at the time I had my YouTube channel, so I wanted to do all that. But I saved up money, all my birthday money. At the time I wasn't working, so I just saved up any money that I got to buy my first camera. And I got it like on a Black Friday deal. So it was a super good deal that I got it. It like got $300 off. And I bought that and it just felt like, one, I felt my little peek into adulthood that I was saving money and knew how to save money. And 2, this was kind of just like my start of my passion, my career. And I still use my camera to this day, and it's my baby. It really does have a precious little connection. But I do agree. The experiences that you get with things are way more valuable than actual material things that you could buy.
Yeah. And I think a lot of things that bring me happiness are things that are like bought with love or given with love, if that makes sense. Like the necklace that I'm wearing, I've had it for 4 or 5 years, and I'm so lucky to say that it is Gucci. I did not spend a single cent of my own dollar on it. Yeah, but it was a graduation gift from my grandparents, and now every time I wear this necklace, I think about my grandparents.
Yes.
Not the fact that it's this nice name brand. I'm just like, my grandparents were nice enough to be like, you graduated high school, here you go. And I was like,
there's a lot of things like that I have that hold memory too. Like my bracelet, it's covered in, but my grandma gave that to me.
I'll imagine it.
Yes, imagine it. My grandma gave it to me, and that has a whole story behind it. And I feel like a lot of the things that we own, they might be materialistic, and like you said, a Gucci necklace and everything, but there's just so much memory, and there's, people who put their hard work into buying that. And like, I know when my mom bought me, my car, or my stepdad bought me my car, or my mom helped with my laptop and stuff, like I know they put their hard work into that, and that's what makes that so memorable for me.
I think money goes to bring it all to a wrap. Money goes a long way. Money revolves the world almost. So
yes.
Yeah.
Well, I am super, super happy to have had you today.
Thank you for having me.
You're an amazing person.
Thank you so much.
No, you guys
had
are.
such a delightful conversation with you, multiple conversations about different things, and you're just so well spoken. You have a good head on your shoulders. So thank you so much for being a
guys.
guest.
Stay tuned for Kat to be in some live entertainment business.
We'll see how it goes.
See her on, but I'm super happy to conclude this episode. And stay tuned. Next Wednesday, we'll be posting another interviewee.
Thank you for watching We're All Strangers podcast.
Navigating life together
With Kat.
Hey.
Bye, everybody.
Boom.